back to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. I'm Connor Williams, and we're back with another one of our 24/7 news report videos. The headline news this evening is that Everton are interested in Inter Milan striker Edin Dzeko. Wolves, Leicester City, Juventus, and Napoli are also interested. That's come from Gazzetta dello Sport. Interesting one that. Very old player on some nice big wages and very, very old. I don't know if it says if it'd be. I don't think it'd be a free transfer either. Can't imagine him going for a lot of money. Under 5 million, I reckon. 10, maybe 10 tops, and even that's too much. Under 5 mil, I reckon he's probably going to go to, if not free. I would swerve it. He was never the most mobile in his prime. I can't imagine now he's at the grand age of, I think he might be 34. He looks 30. If he's not 34, he's had a tough life. He was never mobile in his peak. He was good, but he was never mobile. I would swerve this. He's 36, so not even 34. He's 36 years old. I wouldn't go for this if I was a club. I think there's plenty of younger people out there to go for. I'd rather Brozier than him. I just let Wolves make this mistake. Let somebody else make this mistake, not us. I don't think you'll get much game time out of him because of his thing. He'd just be he'd be a better version of Solomon Rondon. Not very mobile, but he would be a better overall technical player than Rondon. So it depends, we don't need two immobile strikers. Although he is I believe technically better than Rondon, we've already got one. We don't need to load up on immobile strikers. We also have the Everton are leading the race to sign Lille midfielder Amado Onana. Lille valued the 20-year-old at 35 million. West Ham are also interested in it. This has come via HLN Sport. I like the player. I think he's good. I think he's what we need. He's very, very good. I watched a Squawka video on him the other day as well. He's a very, very good defensive midfielder with progressive passing. The only problem is I don't see us spending over 30 million on one player. So 35 seems a bit. We're apparently offering structured payments to everybody, so I don't know. I can't see us signing him, just because of the uncertainty on finances at Everton. Even with the Richarlison sales saying, we can spend 60 to potentially 70 million. Are we going to spend half of that on a midfield on one player when we need about 4 new players? I don't know. I'd like him, but I think the price is a bit too. And also, I think the price for him as an individual is a bit expensive, even if we weren't in the financial state we're in. I think Lille need the money and are trying to cash in on their next big sale there. We have that Everton are interested in Chelsea defender Levi Colwill, who's monitoring and are monitoring his situation. Arsenal, Leicester, and Southampton are also interested. That's come from the Mail Sport. Following on from that, it says Levi Colwill does not want to leave Chelsea. He is expecting to start regularly, but wants a fair shot and assurance at game time. His situation depends on another centre-back arrival. A buyback clause will be inserted if he's sold. This has come from Simon Phillips, who is a Chelsea fan, writer, podcast, and host of Talk Chelsea. I think a buyback clause would be the right thing to do. We've seen a lot of Chelsea letting go players that end up being very, very good in the future. I think that's the right sort of thing for Chelsea to do. I don't know if he will get the game time he thinks he's going to get. They've brought Koulibaly, they have Thiago Silva. I don't know if Aspilicueta is staying or going. I know Christensen's gone. But I have heard that they're also still in the market for another centre back, so I'm not too sure if he'll get that game time he desires. We'll have to wait and see. I'd happily have him at Everton if he's a good player. We also have the Everton remain in talks with Wolves over a deal for Morgan Gibbs-White. There is still a gap in valuation between the clubs. Wolves have not decided if they'll sell yet. Personal terms are not expected to be an issue. That's come from Sky Sports News. yeah, it doesn't seem to be going away, this Gibbs-White stuff. If personal details won't be an issue, that means he wants to come to the club. It's just if Wolves want to sell him, I get why they won't want to sell him because he's still quite young and got a lot of promise. If the club haven't met on finances, that means we're probably offering them structured payment packets as well, and they're not in the mood for that. The fee he was rumoured, I think he was rumoured at 30 at one point. I think that's a bit steep. Saying that, I think most players that we're linked with over 30 million are a bit steep. I don't think Brozier's worth 35, or that we have the 35 to spend, but alas. We do have another one that Everton will turn their focus to Tino on Georgian if they fail to land Morgan Gibbs-White. This has come from Simon Jones. I'm not going to pretend to tell you that I know lots about this lad. I don't know a lot about him. I also don't know how truthful this is, or if it's just another, he plays in Chelsea's academy. Frank Lampard used to manage Chelsea and play for them. And when he managed them, he introduced a lot of youth. Therefore, it makes the easiest links. Don't know a lot about him. I imagine he'd be a bit cheaper than Gibbs-White because of that. I think the club are pretty confident they're going to get Gibbs-White, though, unless Wolves decide not to sell him at all. I think Gibbs-White is the club's main target. But yeah, I can't really say a lot more about him because I don't know the player very well. He doesn't get a lot of game time for Chelsea, so I'll have to watch that space. We have the Everton and Nottingham Forest are interested in 19-year-old Wolfsburg midfielder Asta Frank. I'm going to pronounce that as. Yeah, I'm going to pronounce that as Frank. I think that's how you pronounce it. That's come from Loic Tanzi, who's a journalist for RMC. He's a good player, good defensive midfielder. Really like him. I hope we do get it. The price has got to be right, hasn't it? Obviously, but I hope we do get this. If Nottingham Forest are the next team in for him, that would make me think that we have a good chance of getting him. Yeah, I really do like him. I think he'd be a great addition. He's a ex-Golden Boy nominee as well, which is good to see. He's a very highly rated youngster. Anyone who plays Football Manager will know his name. He's a very highly rated midfielder on that as well. Transfer market have his value at 9 million. Now, obviously, that's not what the clubs will value him at, but he can play basically anywhere: midfield, defensive midfield, central midfield. I think he's even had a go at attacking midfield as well, which is interesting. Scored 5 goals in the Belgian league before his move. In the Bundesliga, he's only scored 2, got no assists, 24 games though. Probably more of a defensive midfielder, isn't he there? But no, all around, quite like the look of him. If we can get that over the line for the right price, that could be a very good thing. And it's a young player with sell-on value, which is apparently what Everton are looking for now, younger players with sell-on values. He fits that system. Unlike Eden Dzeko, who's the headline today. We also have from David Ornstein now that Arsenal are working on a deal to sign Everton target Alexander Zinchenko from Manchester City. Both teams are in talks with City, and City are open to sell if the valuation's met. Zinchenko is now a priority for Mikel Arteta. On Zinchenko, we have Moria. Alexander Zinchenko remains an option for Everton, but Arsenal move ahead with their interest. The deal depends on Mark Cucurella joining City. The deal could go down in the last few weeks of the window. That's come from, so the first one came from David Ornstein, like I said, and then this has come from Christopher Beasley of The Echo. I think I have this horrible feeling he is going to end up going to Arsenal. It'd be good in midfield. We do need a creative midfielder, ball carrier, and passer. He would suit that. I'd rather see him play in midfield and maybe on the wing than at left back. I mean, he can be an attacking left back. He's done it at City, but that's not where he started out. I'd like to see him in midfield a little bit more. I think ultimately, though, his versatility is brilliant, but I think he's going to go to Arsenal. Just the links of Arteta, Guardiola, etc. Arsenal could probably stump up more money than us. I think they're going to probably swoop in and get that. Finally, we have news on Jarrod Branthwaite. Branthwaite will join PSV on a season-long loan. That's come from Will Unwin, who is a freelancer at the Guardian Sport. It has been reported by loads of Dutch media as well, and it's said that it'll be announced within the next 24 hours. So we've seen, so yeah, that will come probably in the next 24 hours maybe. So keep an eye out for that. I think it's a good move for Braithwaite. I think he'll get lots of game time. I think the Dutch league's an all right league to develop in, and PSV will give him plenty of time. So yeah, keep an eye on that. That's all we got time for though. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Comment down below your thoughts on even Dzeko, Morgan, Gibbs-White. Do you think we'll get him? Do you think we'll lose out to ZINCHENKO to Arsenal? Do you think Braithwaite will do well at PSV? Don't forget as well, if you want any of your new Everton kits, you can get that via the link in the description that takes you direct to the Everton store. And if you want any customized Everton tops, you can get that from the Toffee Blues shop, and your mugs as well. That link is also in the description down below. Take care, guys, and I'll see you soon.